Soren Kierkegaard said, "There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true." George Orwell told us that in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, while Aldous Huxley reminded us that facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. Lastly, Joe Class said, "The truth will set you free. But first, it will piss you off." This is the news show, Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, March 16th, 8 o'clock on the nose. This is Whiskey Hell Podcast, your news show that just wading through the muck and the mire. We're recording the night before St. Paddy's Day. Good bunch of Irish music coming in right before the show. Fitz, how you doing, man?
I'm okay. I'm here. I woke up this morning and I was like, fuck. All right. I guess we'll do another day. It was a really good week at work. It's my first really good week in a while. So I have that to hang my hat on. But when one part of your life starts to go well, other things start to take a shite. Yeah. So I'll tell you one thing. If someone would have told me when I was like 14, 15, like, hey, being an adult is basically like just juggling a bunch of sharp objects, and just when you think you're good at juggling 5, they're going to add in like 3 more. And then when you think you're good at 8, they're going to throw in like 7 more. And so here we are. But you know what? Glad to be here with you. Glad to be doing the show. At least we have this as an outlet. And the world's going mad. And we get to watch it burn. So how are you?
I'm good. We took a little week off. A little hiatus.
Yes.
So I know you were out of town. I decided to smoke a few cigars, game a little bit, did some video gaming, played that game that all the kids are playing, that Helldivers 2 thing.
Okay.
It was good. I actually got into a good mode where I was staying up too late, getting up too early, and just kind of old school ways of doing business. Other than that, it was a good week, a good nice break.
Nice. Yeah, I'll tell you. Whatever you've heard about San Francisco as of late, it's all true. That town
worse?
that town has gone to shit, dude. That town's gone to shit. And we only made it downtown one evening, and I'm not sure what would bring me back there. I don't know why I would go back.
Wow.
It was dead. There were businesses shuttered up permanently. Most other businesses were closed, and we're talking 11 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And the ones that were open, nobody was there. Like it was me and my Kung Fu brothers and like a few like overweight serving staff. That's it.
So no nightlife, and you were there over the weekend.
Over the weekend. That was a Saturday night. Yeah.
Which back in our day, just going to keep saying.
Oh my God.
Those were better times.
Right.
That
city was lit.
It was off the charts. I mean, you had every district was amazing to go through.
Yep. And I wasn't down in the Castro or anything, but we were downtown in one of the areas where there's a lot of really good bars. And like I said, half of them were shuttered up. The other half were just sparsely populated. And the music was low and people were just talking. Like there was no dancing. There's no crazy shit going on. It was just like people were just kind of there. Like they didn't want to be at home. It was weird. And plus, on the way there, we had to step over, collapsed tents and clothes and human feces. The entire place smells like piss. It's crazy. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. Thank you. Way
He
to
really is an amazing
take
human being.
an American gem and turn it into a fucking piece of coal. Thank you. It's great. Anyway,
Well,
I'm not
you
gonna be
made it
bitter about it.
back. No
Yeah.
diseases or anything. You didn't
Nope.
get tetanus from anything. No you weren't stabbed by any needles.
Nope.
Um,
Nope.
all
Good to
right,
go on
well,
that front, and actually had a great kung fu weekend.
good, good.
Like everybody got along, which was kind of it was a little bit weird. It's like what's going on here? But yeah, everybody got along, and I mean, we got a lot of training done, so that part was great. I just missed San Fran.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
maybe it'll be returned to its glory days when it's a 15-minute city.
Oh, man, there you go. There you go. I like that. All right. Way to be
Fitz,
optimistic.
before we start, we should probably make sure we get our disclaimer in.
Okay.
So we're not experts on anything other than observations, and I think we're pretty damn good at that. We have nothing to do with aeronautics, the FAA. We don't know anything about planes, right? Other than
Right.
that, basic, they can fly, and some aerodynamics of why they fly, right?
Right.
We don't know anything about really why somebody would be suicided when they're going, or they're not alive. I think that's the correct term nowadays. You can't say suicided.
Not alive?
It's now
Yeah.
alive. Yeah, it's now alive.
Unalived. Unalived.
Unalived. There we go. Unalived.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prior to going to court with Boeing. We don't have any experience in the food processing field.
Nope.
So these
We're
are just
not political
observations.
pundits.
Yep. We're not political pundits. We're not lawyers. We're not doctors.
We're not financial advisors, certainly.
We're not financial advisors. Nope. None of that stuff either.
Nope.
Yeah. So just make sure everybody knows that going in about how we handle this show. These are just straight up observations that we see throughout from week to week and over time, even longer than week to week, right? Yeah, so we just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that for those who are new to the show.
Yeah. And we do have some new listeners out there. I know for a fact. I've been talking this up on our week off. I made it a point to talk up the show and basically tell people the format that we've got going, that we've kind of got
Cool.
all the kinks ironed out. We know what we're doing. So
Yeah.
I know we're going to have some new listeners this week.
Good.
One thing that, and I'm not saying expert, okay, but we do know a thing about boobs.
We
We
do
know
know
a
a
thing
lot
or
about
two about
boobs.
boobs. So
Yes.
if we get to Sydney Sweeney's boobs, we have something to compare them to. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Female
Yeah,
anatomy.
okay.
We're usually pretty good at that.
Yeah, that we've got down. So
Above
I mean, not
average.
experts, but I mean, I hope so. Whatever average is, anyway.
Well,
Yikes.
welcome to all of our new listeners. So thank you very much for downloading. Please make sure you guys reach out to us if you're on X too. It's at whiskey_hell or just Badger Fits. So that's all you got to do.
It all works.
Big thanks to everybody who's in chat tonight. Roll call. We've got Beard of Liberty, L. Tabby is here, Mike is here, and Aaron is here as well. We'll see who else can pop in tonight. But we thank you guys. We thank you guys for being present and accounted for from week to week. Also reaching out to us on Twitter. Even those who couldn't be here tonight, we are thinking of you. So we're going to have a good show for you. Fitz,
Well,
what are
we're
you
gonna
drinking?
attempt to have a good show.
Oh no, I'm optimistic tonight. I am
Okay,
a
all right.
glasses half full guy tonight.
You sure are. Okay. Well, mystery beer. This is a new brewery for me, so we are literally shooting in the dark here.
All right, got
This
two
is
new breweries.
the,
Awesome.
Great, awesome. The name of the brewery is Boss Rambler, and they are a new outfit out of Bend. And I was trying to earlier in pregame, I was looking up, trying to figure out which brewery closed to allow these guys to start up, because as I've mentioned before, Bend has a finite number of breweries that are allowed. And so really it's like the Supreme Court, like somebody has to die before someone else can start up. So I don't know
Right.
who left for Boss Rambler to get started. But anyway, Boss Rambler is new to me. Maybe they've been there for a while and I'm just out of touch. I don't know. The beer poured dark. The head is indicative of a porter. But it could also be it didn't pour quite thick enough to be an imperial stout, but the head could look like an imperial stout head.
Okay.
But I'm thinking some sort of porter here. So let's give it a run.
So thin head, dry,
Ooh,
probably.
yeah. Okay. Definitely chocolate,
Okay.
some caramel notes. Chocolate and vanilla maybe. Oh, very good beer. Could be a milk stout. We could be talking about a milk stout because sometimes those they have a thin head also because that
Okay.
the lactose sugar will it'll thin out the head. So it could be a chocolate milk stout. Mm.
So you guys can go to, let's see, it's
Damn, that's
bossrambler.com, and you guys can check these guys out. They don't have their actual, like, their list of all their beers, but they've got what they have on tap right now. That shakeout stout kind of sounds like that might be the one.
Yeah.
Cocoa, vanilla,
All right.
and
Well, I'm doing the
lactose.
big reveal here.
All right.
Big reveal. This is called Camp S'mores.
Ooh.
It is a campfire milk stout. What do you know? Cocoa, marshmallow. That's what I was getting. That's why I couldn't figure out if it was vanilla or caramel.
Okay.
But marshmallow and graham cracker. So, a cozy fireside inspired stout featuring mouth-watering rich flavors of your favorite campfire treat. Have s'more. Wow, good job, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, solid beer. I'm impressed. It's only a 6.9, so that bodes well for the future of the show. Definitely would pick up a 4-pack of this. This is a solid beer. Very nice.
All right. Very, very good.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you got? What are you drinking over there?
So I've never had a beer by Fieldwork before. Fieldwork Brewing.
Oh.
They're out of Berkeley, California. Their beer list is sick. If you guys can go to fieldworkbrewing.com and look at it, it's endless. It just keeps going, Fitz. I was trying to find this particular.
Sorry.
Hey, ooh.
Oh.
I was trying to find this particular one. It's called Madeline. It's a Belgian double. And I had a hell of a time just trying to wade through all of the beers that they've got. I mean, it's just endless.
My God, you're not kidding.
Yeah, it just keeps going, and you get to the
What
bottom
don't
of the
they
page,
do?
and it just load. Yeah, exactly. And I'm
And then
kind
it
of
just loads
surprised that
more.
yeah, I'm surprised I've never seen them either. So anyway,
Well,
new brewery to me as well, so I'm happy for it.
Yeah, could be one of those outfits that just sort of stayed local and then
Mm-hmm.
you know finally decided to sign that distribution deal and and branch out.
Yep.
I like this feature. So I'm now looking at your screen.
Okay.
I like this feature. When you click on a beer and it shows you kind of the sweetness scale, the body,
Yeah.
the bitterness, the AB, it gives you the stats. Like that's what we want as guys. We want like a fucking football style stat for the beer. Show me the ABV. Give me the IBUs. What kind of yeast are you using? What was your process? The whole, I'm from West Kentucky. Great. Show me your lineage. Like, how'd you get here to this beer?
Right.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it's really, really solid. It's like a baseball card.
Exactly. That's
You
all
know?
we want.
Tasting notes. Just as Japan perfected the toilet and Turkey perfected drunken 2 a.m. sidewalk fare, Belgium perfected the malty beer. While beers without huge hop aromas and or fruit have become passé as of late, the Belgian double still reigns supreme with a veritable truckload of complex and rich flavors, ranging from black currants and grilled pears to sun-dried dates. And it goes on into the different
Oh
kinds
God,
of...
yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. So it's good. I like it. Like you said. I mean, that's so important. You're selling your beer all the time that way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I would buy some of these beers, some fieldwork beers, just from the website, just from what they're doing here.
Yeah, because I know now I know about the beer. I know the style that I like, and now I get to go in and compare. Oh, well, this one's got cocoa in it. Oh, well, this cocoa is from some this other place, and this is barrel aged, and it's barrel aged in this kind of You're giving more information. It's just so great. It's a great selling point. This
Yeah,
is
love
definitely
it.
a Belgian. Very simple, clean beer, malty, a little bit of caramel, not much aftertaste. I would keep this around. This would be a go-to, and it's a dark one too. So a lot of in my experience, a lot of doubles get a little too light, a little bit too dry. This
Agreed.
one is right. It has the sweetness of a Belgian, and it's right below being almost a quad. Right, just the AVB isn't quite up there. There's not as quite as much sugar. The yeast is a little bit different. But it's like right on that edge. It's like if they just did a little bit, they went and brewed a little bit longer, you'd have something that would be really potent. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Well, you know what we always say, McShane. We like our Dubels, like we like our buttholes. Dark, wet, and right on the edge.
Yes, and clean.
I'll I'll see myself out. Yeah, and clean.
Yeah, yeah, and no aftertaste.
Please, yeah, finish clean. No aftertaste. Anyway, how about that housekeeping?
So, well, here's the problem with housekeeping this week. One, it was only a day's worth of stats as far as the poll went. The strange headline. We asked what's the strangest headline so far for 2024. We had Haitian cannibals in charge, tunneling Jews in New York City, Boeing planes failing, and then the British monarchy gets weird. There's a whole other bunch of stuff that did happen this year, so we're not
Sure.
trying to omit anything, but it was a very, very strange week in that we had all kinds of stuff being thrown out there that looks more like it was deflection than anything else. So what we ended up with, as far as the poll goes, the Haitian cannibals in charge won, 52.2%. Of course, this coming after March 3rd's breakout of prison, where I think it was 200 or 300. What was it? Was it like 200 or 300 gang members were broken out of jail over in Haiti, and
Yeah, something like that.
now a
Yeah,
gang.
because there was a coup, a military coup again. I mean, go figure. Haiti. For those of you not keeping score at home, Haiti has got to be up there. In the last 100 years, they have got to be up there as far as the most regime changes. Like they've had political uprisings, they've had military uprisings, they've had coups, they've had just flat out like social unrest that toppled governments. I mean, they're a mess, and they're on like the top of the mess heap. And then you have these gang members, these people who've been put in prison because they're not even fit to be in Haitian society. They're running loose. And then this weird rumor, first of all, the rumor started, and then they started showing videos of these people being cannibals. And by the way, the leader of the gang, his name is Barbecue. I shit you not. I'm not making that up. He goes by Barbecue. And these guys are just walking around just eating the charred bodies of like whoever's laying around. It's unbelievable what we're seeing here. I mean, it really truly is like if you didn't see it, you wouldn't believe it.
So, like you were saying, Haiti's been through hell, whether it's earthquakes, hurricanes, military coups. They're also sitting on like 30 billion in gold.
Go figure.
Um, yeah. So it's a very, very turbulent place. But yeah, the Haiti cannibals. Oh, and the Haiti cannibals coming over. The what was it? The I don't want to call it an insurrection, um, but it was the God. What was it? Yeah, we're talking about the Haiti invasion, and then yesterday there was the Florida Fish and Wildlife actually interdicted a vessel with 25 illegal aliens from Haiti. The boat was reportedly carrying drugs, firearms, and night vision gear.
Jesus.
So, the way we look at
I
things
mean,
for everybody who's just tuning in just now, what's
yeah.
actually behind this stuff? This is why it's so far out there that it's actually it seems like it's a little bit of a head fake for me.
Same here, and you add into that, and I don't. I mean, I'm not trying to like give the punchline here, but I don't know if you all have been seeing, but I've been finding articles that are like in science journals that are basically trying
Yes.
to justify cannibalism.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird thing that you caught was that a lot of these articles were written like 1 to 2 weeks before the Haitian
Yeah.
rumors started coming out.
Yep.
I mean, I found three or four, and I went back and looked, and I mean, all of them were written like end of February, beginning of March. How weird is that?
New
I
Scientist. Is it time for a more subtle view on the ultimate taboo, cannibalism? That came out on February 14th.
I mean, come on. That's just crazy. I mean, first of all, even if you want to scientifically, nutritionally try and justify cannibalism, which you can't because we all know what happens 2, 3 generations of just having sex with your family, let alone you start eating humans. Look what happens to cows. They get mad cow disease. Same thing happens with any species if it starts eating itself. You get too much of your own genetic material and shit starts to go wrong. Proteins start to be produced and it ain't good. Um, but why would you try and justify it on a social scale? Like, hey, it's cool if you find your neighbor dead. You just fry him up. It's good. It's okay. What? That's not in a civilized society, which I guess we're still claiming we are. I don't know. Maybe that's our bad. Maybe that's where we miss the mark. Is that we're no longer a civilized society, but we're all pretending we are. But in a civilized society, you don't eat people. There's plenty of food. You don't have to do that. You bury them. You honor them. You move on. It's really weird.
Well, it we're trying to justify, not us, but there's so many justifications going on around the world, especially sexually, that
Yeah,
the
right.
the deviants, people are trying to make pedos okay. Um, that's not. And now we're talking about cannibals. So it's bizarre that this is what it just screams like we've talked about in the last show. It's trying to water down and trying to really destroy Western civilization. Hefe, given your history, have you ever eaten anybody?
No comment.
Fair enough.
I mean, like as a meal or as a hobby?
No,
Um,
not as fellatio as a meal.
Ah, no, no. Have
good
you?
good to know.
No,
No,
I mean
no.
we've all heard the tales of the Donner Party. You know what I mean? Like that was you're in the worst of the worst of the worst. And that soccer team that crashed up in the
Mm-hmm.
Andes. I mean that's like you're so desperate, you're about to die, and that's all there is to eat. And even then, you go, "Oh my God, how can I live with myself?" But here we are
Yep.
trying to justify it. Jesus, how's the Not that this is a smooth transition or anything, but how's the night going, Hefe?
Well, there's a guy here this
Oh, if you
weekend that
tell me if you tell me there's someone there eating people, that's it. I'm done.
no,
I'm heading
no.
down there.
No, there's a guy here that's here for the weekend, and he's betting really big for the dealers, like $500 a hand.
Holy shit!
Wow.
I heard about him last night, and I never got to him. But I got to him tonight. I get to the table, and he's only got about $1,500 in front of them. So it's not like he's doing really good, by his terms. And he goes, "I only got a few hands, and I'm gonna have a smoke break." And I was like, "Fucking, of course you are. Why wouldn't you go have a smoke break?"
Now that I'm
here. So I start just destroying him because that's what I do. And
no,
I did wind up making $100 off him. And then he's like, "All right, I gotta go. I'll see you later on." And I was like, "I hope so. I love you. You're my friend."
please come back.
So he's here for the weekend. So, which means, tonight, because he'll probably be gone by the time I get here tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it's nice when someone like that drops in. It's also really nice when you actually get to deal to them. So we'll see what happens. There were dealers making a lot of fucking money on him last night.
I know this is not a moniker that you embrace, nor one that you want, but I still think you're the cooler.
I did get called that the other night. William H. Macy.
Ouch.
Yeah. That was such a good movie. For any of you who haven't seen that movie, go out and do yourselves a favor. Go watch that movie. What's her name that was in it was just a fucking smoke show. So just watch it for that. The Cooler.
Oh, okay.
William H. Macy. Yeah. Great movie. And he played that role so well. But I mean, that's you, dude. They just, like, as soon as the table gets hot, they just send him in. Send in Jefe. No Cooler.
It's funny because there was a girl dealing here that she goes, "You like that one actor?" And I've gotten Pierce Brosnan back in the day. One girl even said it looked like George Clooney, which thank you very much. But I get, different actors. And I said, Pierce Brosnan, sheepishly, because I don't, I'm not full of myself, or at least not always. But she goes, no, William H. Macy. And I was like, oh.
Awkward silence.
That'll make you go a big rubber one.
Oh, fuck you very much.
Wah.
It just became 6 o'clock real quick.
You're taller than William H. Macy, though.
I think so. Yeah. Seems like a shorter.
Yeah.
I am not. I think I'm. You know what? Let's look that up. I think I'm probably as tall as he is.
So I've told you guys about my hatred for golfers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like, they're just annoying people, and plus most of them are shitty tippers. But I get to the table tonight, and there's two guys, and the first thing I hear is, "No, really? Like, your favorite club is the 4-iron?" And the other guy goes, no. And the other guy goes, "Oh, good, because whose favorite club is a long iron?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck me. Guys, can you do this somewhere else? Please. Get the fuck off my table."
You're making
Seriously,
me grow
all right. So the interwebs say that William H. Macy is 5'8.5", but there's arguments below that say he's not a hair over 5'7". So, but that's about. I mean, my license says 5'8". That's. I'm just gonna go with that. So I'm as tall as William H. Macy, and you're taller, Jefe.
All right.
Yeah.
Jefe, when you come back later, we've got a topic that we want to get into. It's going to be about strong women and how we're going to. I think one of the angles we're going to take on it is how society is like shitting all over them. It's kind of like the Victoria's Secret thing. We're going to go ahead and only put in, plus size models and ones that are, missing limbs. But it's also going to be a little bit more than that, I think. We have one young lady who's been shredded online for just being. I mean, she's outdoorsy. She's hot, but she's very outdoorsy. So we're going to get into that. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that one later. Oh, and Sydney Sweeney's boobs. So you may have to research that in between breaks.
Okay, I gotta confess something to you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
I love boobs. No, I don't know. I don't know who Sydney Sweeney is.
Jesus Christ, man, look her up.
You're looking at your phone right now.
How'd you know?
That's Sydney Sweeney. That's Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah,
I know. Like I saw the picture when you guys posted it earlier, but who is she? Like actress or model?
Yeah,
or...
she's an actress. Yeah, she's an actress.
She's an actress, an up and comer.
She's done
correct wife.
Yeah, she's up and coming. She's gonna be in the new is it Spider Girl? But
Madam Web or Web Madam or
yeah,
whatever.
right. She's been in a few movies, and I mean she's adorable. She's cute. Yeah. So, but that's not the reason we're going to be talking about her.
Okay.
No, not totally.
Yeah.
And then Hannah Barron is going to be the other one, so you're going to want to look up Hannah Barron. She's the one that was actually getting shredded online.
Yeah, she's the Alabama girl who like could literally step out of the farm and be a supermodel. And people are giving her shit for being a hard worker. It's crazy.
Fuck them. People.
So how did you spend your week, Hefe? Your week off from the show?
Exactly the same as I spend every other week, except I was openly weeping all Saturday night because there was no show.
I was gonna predict that you were just in the corner like stemming and crying. Yeah.
People kept coming up to me like, "What's wrong? Did somebody die?"
No.
I said no. There's just no show tonight. Get the fuck away from me. Hey, last night I totally thought of you guys. Because I was going to that guy I told you about. He was on table 3, right? And I was in the pit that's like the 11 through 20 pit. And so I'm trying to get through table 20 so I can get over to this guy and deal to him. So I get up at 20, go on break, heading to table 1. And I look, and table 3 is not him. He's gone. And so I'm like, well, fuck. There goes that chance. So I go to table 1, and there's one guy there. And I step in, and I go, "Hey, how's it going?" And he goes, "Well, I found out my best friend died last night." And I was like,
"Oh my
God.
God."
Oh my. And he was drunk, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here from Vermont." And he stayed back. I guess he didn't want to go on the golf trip. He's here for a golf trip, and his buddy was still there, and he died last night. And I was like, just out of reflex, I said, "What happened?"
Yeah.
And he just kind of shook his head, and he's like, "Oh, it's just a sudden thing." And I was like, "Oh." And so I start dealing to him, like hoping I can dump to this guy, and I just take everything from him.
Oh no!
God damn.
Mr. Cooler steps in.
Oh my God.
Destroyer of wallets.
Oh, God.
I feel like we need to market this somehow.
Well,
seriously.
But like I thought of you guys. I was like, well, that would be like the worst thing to be. I mean, what, 3,000 miles away on a golf trip and hearing your best friend died? Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna go drink yourself into a stupor and then give your mind to Hefe.
I do have to say, and I don't know why I have to say it, but I have to say it. I have found over the years that people have kind of a weird definition of like their best friend. And I mean, I think overall, when a guy says that's my best friend, like they mean it. Like that's somebody they're really tight with. But I've heard people say that's my best friend, and they've known him for like 8 months, and I'm like, what, really? That's the best one? Like you've been around for 30 some years, or 40 years, or 50 years, and you just found your best friend, which I mean, great, but like my best friends, we go back at least 30 years.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what, I mean, that day's going to come for all of us. I don't know what I'm going to do. I probably will drink myself into a stupor. I'm not sure I'm going to let Hefe deal to me, because I don't want to also lose my ass. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
hey, that's depressing. I'll tell you, Hefe, I thought of you, because we were, and you'll hear the show, but we went out one night in San Francisco, and we tried three different bars. They were all just, I mean, it was just dead. It was just, but there was one girl there, and there was just something about her. You know who she reminded me of is Rebecca,
Oh God.
and not the psycho part. Okay, not the psycho part. She
There's
didn't remind me
another
of the
part.
psycho part. Just well, yeah, she was 98% psycho, but she was 2% really cute. Um, and she just reminded me of her, and it just made me think of you. I almost uh text, but I was like, okay, that's just weird, and it was out of context. So anyway, I thought of you because it brought back all those memories of how psycho she really was.
You know who's probably throwing their phone right now?
Rebecca.
Buttercup.
Oh, yeah.
She got a little too close to the sun on that one.
That's right. Yep. Buttercup
Yeah.
does know Rebecca. Yes.
She told me that she actually reached out to her a few years back, I think, and then like talked about things.
Oh,
Like
really?
Rebecca reached out to Buttercup. Yeah.
Oh,
No shit.
weird.
Yeah.
Did she just like balance out and suddenly like got older and got a soul?
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I don't think that's possible.
I mean, they say, souls come down to this planet every day. Maybe one accidentally entered her body.
Poor thing.
Yeah, poor thing is right. Jesus.
Remember
Well,
when she jumped in the back of my truck?
yes, I do. Yes, I do. I never feared for my life more than that period of my life.
Well, you
'Cause
guys had,
'cause
like,
she had-
make sure doors were locked and all kinds of
Yes.
weird shit, right? That was
No,
right
she
when I
had-
very first time started coming around.
You bet. That's exactly right. And she had that like oh God, what was the Glenn Close Michael Douglas movie?
Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, thank you. She had that vibe going on. Like all of a
Yep.
sudden you're gonna come home one day and she's gonna be boiling rabbits in your house. Like what? Jesus.
Rabbits.
Yeah, isn't that how that movie ended?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Boiling
rabbits?
she was boiling the kids' rabbits.
Jesus Christ. I gotta go on that note.
All right, man.
I'll
This
be
is
back
a
in an
fucked
hour.
up conversation. All right, man. Later.
All right, see you.
I never had an absolute psychopath, fortunately.
No, you
What?
were
Like that.
fortunate on that. No. No, I didn't have. No, I never had that. I got to live vicariously through Hefe on those. He had a couple that were a little left of center.
What if you're we should talk about souls sometime. Like, if you're a soul, right? If we go off of the whole reincarnation thing, and you're a soul and you get thrown back into a new body. What if it's like you're in a body of just a shitty person? Like, you're like, I don't want to be here. This fucking sucks.
I don't know because there's weird tales, and I don't know. They might just be tales or rumors of people who have gotten like they've gotten a limb or an organ from a cadaver, and all of a sudden they
Right.
start having memories of that cadaver, right?
Yeah,
Or like
yeah.
they start having these tendencies, like the dude was a rapist, and all of a sudden they want to like take their neighbor and rape him or whatever. And so I don't know. I don't know. What if you get that what if you get that shitty body, or what if you're a good person and you get a shitty soul?
Yeah.
Like what was the Denzel Washington and John Goodman movie where the fucking prisoner goes in there, Fallen. Jesus. I can't
Oh
remember.
my God,
Remember
that
Fallen?
movie.
Right?
That was
You're like,
fucked
you're-
up. Yes.
You're a good person, but this demon just like takes you over. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. What can you do?
Tabby, what if your soul ended up in a furry?
I mean, there are worse things. Like I've always said, when I come back, I want to be a dog. Like just in a good
Yeah,
home,
that'd be fun.
right?
You know,
Sleeping
for
by a
about
fire. Yeah. Fed twice a day, given the loves. All I have to do is do something wacky and make everybody laugh. It's great. It's a great life.
and then go sit.
I want
and
that.
eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry so much about the furry thing. I would think yeah. So
I mean, I would
no
embrace
soul
that shit.
shaming here. No soul shaming.
You know what? Right. Exactly. Like if you're into, I mean, I'm not like whatever your kink is. Like, let's do this. You want to fuck me in a panda suit? At least I'm getting some action. Let's do this.
God, Aaron's singing that "Time Is on My
Yes, he
Side"
is.
song.
Yes, he is.
The movie was so goddamn crazy.
It was crazy and creepy. And again, if you haven't seen that movie, it's a masterpiece. It's kind of like low budget. Like I think they filmed it somewhere in Canada, like Toronto
Yeah.
or something. But it has some high-powered actors in it, and the storyline itself is just really well done.
Yeah. It's horrifying.
And the girl, I always found it weird because I saw the movie Matilda before I saw that movie. And the movie
Oh.
Matilda, Miss Honey is like the sweetest, like, kindergarten, first grade teacher, whatever she is. She's the sweetest person in the world. And then in Fallen, she's like, this nun who's also like the sexual attraction in the movie. And it was just weird to me because I'm like, no, that's Miss Honey. Like the whole movie I was saying nothing
Don't
can
do
happen
this.
to her.
Don't do this.
Yeah, you can't. No, you can't do that to Miss Honey. Anyway, gosh, what the weird shit that goes on in my head. I know it goes on in other people's heads too. Like, but that's just
how we
weird.
work it out. That's how we stay normal or some semblance of.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Hell of a cast, though, like you said. Denzel, Donald Sutherland, James Gandolfini, John Goodman, Embeth Davids, Elias Koteas. Those are all really, really good.
Huge.
Actors.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff.
That was a good twist. There.
Yeah, I
All
didn't
right.
see that coming.
All right, so we talked about Haitian cannibals rushing ashore and how this is some kind of a. It seems to me like it's a psyop.
Yeah,
at least me
too.
The fear, right, that's happening here from it, or the I'm just gonna call it the fear. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
Not that any of us are really like worried about it, but that's what's going into the media, right?
Right. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be, is afraid. And incidentally, I went and when Hefe was on, I went and looked it up. In 1915. Okay, so almost 100 years ago, because I said last 100 years, but 1915, the U.S. invaded Haiti, and we withdrew, but we never really gave up political influence or, financial control of their banks. Okay, so from 1915 until 2021, they have had 19 regime changes. 19.
Holy
now,
shit!
This will make number 20. This one that we're talking about right now. So this is an article written by Al Jazeera. I'll make sure McShane has it so we can put it in the show notes. But it goes through and talks about every year what happened, who took power, why they took power, who killed them and took power from them. Fucking crazy. So 19, and now this is number 20 in 100 years. So you're telling me that every 5 years, basically, on average, you've got a new, not just a new president, but a new like political philosophy, a new tyrant that's ruling your life. Fucking crazy. I mean, I understand you're like born into a country, but no wonder they jump on rubber rafts and try and get to fucking Florida. Like I would too. Get out of there.
So I think we've done this before. We'll go back and we'll do it again. Haiti's natural resources: oil and gas.
Yep.
A shit ton of gold, 20 billion in gold.
Jesus.
Copper. They also have iridium, and for some reason I seem to think that there's actually more there than just what they're showing here. But I think that's what this is. You also had a regime change that happened that it was time to get rid of the guy who was in there. Period.
Yeah, he wasn't doing what the U.S. wanted. I mean, and that's my, again, we are not political pundits here, but that's my opinion. He wasn't falling in line. So, let's fund his enemies and let them start some shit.
We can't fly on a Boeing aircraft to Haiti. I tried to book tickets the other day. American Airlines will not fly there right now. And if you could, I'm pretty sure a Boeing airplane would fall out of the sky anyway.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of this?
Of the Boeing stuff?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, so I mean, I think there's a lot of angles we can take here. Which, by the way, this beer keeps getting better the more I have of it. It's very good.
Awesome. All right.
It's funny because I actually checked. I had booked my flight to San Francisco a while back, and then all this shit with Boeing came up, and I'm like, I'm gonna check what kind of a airplane I'm on, and I was on an Airbus.
Okay. Good.
So I instantly felt better, which is dumb, but okay. So the optics on this, like on the face of it, we are seeing a lot of evidence that Boeing is cutting corners in both their production and when there's a problem with an airplane in their repairs of that airplane.
Right. We've got doors blowing off.
The redacted footage.
Yep.
Yeah. We got doors blowing off. We got the landing gear coming off. That was at SFO, by the way. That was like 3 days before I went on my trip.
That's fantastic.
The plane had the fuel door open. There was another one. Oh, one of the windows cracked in one of the flights.
Oh, that was a couple weeks back. Yeah.
Yep. So we have all these. So on the surface of it, you're like, okay, let's investigate Boeing. But it also feels like, remember a few weeks back, well, maybe like a couple months ago, where you could just feel this turn of like, well, the powers that be are done with Biden. So all of a sudden, all the shit about Hunter started coming out and the Biden family, and they weren't covering up anything about Biden sniffing hair and touching little girls. It was like, well, he's just being hung out to dry. That's what this feels like for Boeing. Because you can't tell me they're the only ones in the industry cutting corners. Because other shit happens to other airliners all the time. We just don't hear about it.
And I think you're onto something. And I think that might be the theme for the night. Because everything that we've got that's popping up this week, it's like, why is it coming up now? This isn't typical news cycle stuff. So
it isn't.
Yeah. So the Boeing business, it's very concerning. I think over the last 3 months, their stock has even plummeted about $120. And I'm glad Hefe asked about that the other day because I hadn't looked it up yet. You also have senators that are suddenly they're getting out of the stock.
Right. They sold at the top or near the top.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, how lucky can they be?
It really is amazing. But this has been going on for quite some time too. So the Boeing thing, it's the strangest part is that it's all happening at once, right? We've got a story, damn near a story every other day, whether it's
right.
And you also have the woke narrative too, right? Because all of these companies are making sure that they're focusing on diversity hires versus making sure that they've got great merit hires for their, to fly the planes and things and their staff. One of our, Justin, one of our listeners, he made it really clear that that's one of the biggest problems, especially when it comes to the actual issues that they're seeing when it comes to flights going off the runway, trouble landing. You've got upkeep on flights.
I mean, here's the thing: is if you are not in something like a job like being a pilot or a surgeon, hell, even a fucking football player, I want the best person for that job. I don't care what sex they are, what religion, the color of their skin. I don't care about any of that. I want the best person not only on paper, but they have demonstrated in their 1,000 hours of flight practice that they can take off and land perfectly every time. That's what I want. And if that is a white guy, great. If it's a black woman from Haiti,
absolutely
great.
She can be a cannibal. I don't give a fuck.
No, exactly. Get me up in the air and back down on the ground safely.
Yeah,
that's all I care about. And so, but when you introduce this DEI bullshit, and you say, well, merit is going to take a back seat to, like I said, the color of their skin, their race, their religion, all these things. Now you're putting my life in danger. I'm a white male. I'm not a pilot. Like, being a white male doesn't just automatically qualify me as being a pilot. So why should this person who is a female all of a sudden qualify her to be a pilot?
Or to be a mechanic on a plane.
Or that.
So let's get it as simple as possible. There isn't any qualifications that the qualifications have to be met. You have to have somebody who is qualified to be doing all of these specific jobs, and somebody who has the potential to be able to do those jobs. Not just, well, we better make sure that we've got a black person, an Asian, Hispanic, and and Bob over there. Yeah, well, you're Jewish, Bob. You can be in here. That's not how it should work. Now,
well, and go ahead.
No, go.
Well, I was just going to make the point also that despite what we all want to believe, men and women are not the same. There's there are countless studies to this. People have been saying this since the 40s, and then people went, well, we should go back and check that. So there are countless studies on this fact, but boys are more spatially inclined. We like to do things with our hands, with tools, with objects, and women are more emotionally inclined. Now, that's not to say that a man can't be a great therapist or a woman can't be a great mechanic, but it is to say that men are going to be drawn to mechanical jobs and spatial jobs more often than they are emotional jobs, and vice versa. Women are going to be drawn to more emotional jobs than they are spatial jobs. So if there's an inequity in being an airline mechanic, that might not be because of Boeing's hiring practices. That might just be because of natural, you're drawn to that as a man, so you're going to be in that field. I mean, if you look at the disparity of engineers who are men and women, it's not because women aren't being given the chance. It's because they don't like to do that on the whole. And the ones that like to do it, they make it and they earn just as much money as the men do. So this whole DEI thing of saying, hey, it needs to be 50%, 50%, that's ridiculous. You want some emotionally stunted, alcoholic to be your therapist just because you need a 50-50 split between men and women? No. It's absurd. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so let's go back to the well, here's our buddy Ian Carroll.
Yes.
Let's go to the whistleblower.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is where it gets weird. Well, I was just going to say, I want Ian Carroll. Ian, if you're listening to the show, and I hope to God you are, I want him to get to the top of who owns Boeing. Like, not the CEO, but who owns Boeing, and why this company is being left out to dry. I mean, again, we're going to talk about it later, but we're getting into like the Palestinian side of things, the Zionist side of things. Why is Boeing being left out to dry here? That's what I want him to investigate.
It seems like they're the sacrificial lamb. It seems like they're the sacrificial lambs for this.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. This is Ian Carroll. Definitely go follow him at Cancel CLOCO.
Dude, the Boeing whistleblower just turned up not alive. You know how Boeing's planes have been falling apart midair for the last year, like doors coming off, tires falling off mid-flight? Well, it turns out that this guy, John Barnett, who spent almost a decade as the quality manager for a plant making the 787 Dreamliner, one of the problem childs of Boeing, well, he retired in 2017, and he's been taking legal action against them ever since. He's been alleging things like when a plane isn't getting built fast enough, they'll tell their dudes just to go and get scrap from the scrap bin, like broken parts and parts that didn't pass inspection, just slap them on there so the plane gets done in time. He also claimed that up to 1/4 of the oxygen masks would fail if actually deployed, plus a number of other allegations that Boeing obviously denied. And then he wound up not alive in his truck in a car park on the 9th of March from a, quote, self-inflicted wound. But the spooky part is what he did right before that happened. Because see, this legal battle's been going on for years now. But just this last week, he gave a formal deposition in which he was questioned by Boeing's lawyers. So Boeing's lawyers just asked him a whole bunch of questions under oath about what he knows. And then that same week, he turns out to not know anything anymore. Right before he was due to undergo further questioning on Saturday. So what did they find out that he found out that now we're not going to find out? I mean, allegedly, obviously. If it was like an accidental death, like a car crash or something, you might be able to go coincidence. But like, who fights a legal battle for years and years and years, and then the year when Boeing's problems are all coming to light and proving you right, then you decide to off yourself? Like, once like the world is like totally turning to your side, then you're over it and you're gonna just quit? I mean, really? So I don't know what's going on, but
2017 he started that.
Damn.
And
that is a long,
all of a sudden,
hard slog. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's let me get into see if I've got NBC here, because I think NBC had. You know what? Hold on. I've got a better one. I have this is Colin Rugg had a TMZ video with him in it. Let me play that. This is actually this is Barnett.
One, this is not a 737 problem. It's a Boeing problem. And I know the FAA's gone in and they've done due diligence and inspections to assure that the door plugs of the 737 are installed properly and the fasteners are torqued properly. But my concern is, what's the rest of the airplane? What's the rest of the condition of the airplane? And the reason my concern for that is back in 2012, Boeing started removing inspection operations off their jobs. So it left the mechanics to buy off their own work. So what we're seeing with the door plug blowout is what I've seen with the rest of the airplane, as far as jobs not being completed properly, inspection steps being removed, issues being ignored. My concerns are with the 737 and the 787, because those programs have really embraced the theory that quality is overhead and non-value added. So those two programs have really put a strong effort into removing quality from the process. When I first started working at Charleston, I was in charge with pushing back defects to our suppliers. And what that meant was I'd take a group of inspectors and actually go to the supplier and inspect their product before they sent it in. Well, I'd taken a team of 4 inspectors to Spirit Aerosystems to inspect the 41 section before they sent it to Charleston. And we found 300 defects. Some of them were significant that needed engineering intervention. When I returned to Charleston, my senior manager told me that we had found too many defects and he was going to take the next trip. So the next trip he went on, he took 2 of my inspectors. And when they got back, they were given accolades for only finding 50 defects. So I pulled that inspector aside and I said, did Spirit really clean up their act that quick? That don't sound right. And she was mad. She said, no. Said the 2 inspectors were given 2 hours to inspect the whole 41 section and they were kicked off the airplane.
Okay.
Yikes.
I mean, these things move 200, 300 people at a time.
Right.
Hundreds of thousands of people per day.
Yeah.
And this is the negligence that's happening behind the scenes. It is fully disturbing.
Well, and to his point, you're getting rid of the safety inspectors And then you're leaving the mechanics to sign off on their own work. Well, who's going to be like, I kind of didn't do a great job on this one.
Yeah,
I'm
I
giving
fucked
myself
this
a D.
one up.
Yeah, no, of course not. At the end of every day, I'm signing off on the work I did because I'm the best there ever was. It's just incredible. And then one article that I don't think made it to the doc, but this guy's best friend came out and she said that he told her that if anything happens to me, it's not I didn't kill myself.
Yeah.
I did not unalive myself.
Suicidal.
I'm not suicidal if anything happens. And now he's gone. And Hefe made a great point earlier this week. So shout out to Hefe here. If you do it well enough, if you make the crime scene look, even if there's just a little bit of doubt in the crime scene that it was a murder, then you can easily sway the jury to just say, well, it was definitely a suicide then, because we can't prove that there was someone else there. So if they did a halfway decent job, we'll never know. We'll never know if he really offed himself or was killed, even though we all know, right? We all know the motivation just isn't there. But in a court of law, we can't go off of speculation. In fact, that's, we've all seen the court dramas. That's speculation, and it has to be taken off the record. So the guy's gone. We'll never know what everything that he knew. And that court case is dead in the water, which is nuts with all the stuff that's been coming out about Boeing this week. It's nuts. Unreal.
And this is all on top of the Boeing 737 MAX that was unleashed, I think, last year. I could be wrong on that. So flight guys, you can correct me, but
yeah, maybe a couple years ago, but yeah, they have a lot of money to lose on that.
And they've had a hell of a time trying to keep those in service.
Yeah.
So
right.
They've got millions and, like you're saying, millions and millions of billions of dollars that are riding on this. And if they can't keep up with Airbus.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake here. So it's having a guy who just suddenly is unalived makes you wonder.
It really does.
How's that beer?
Almost gone. I can see when I take a sip, I can see a lot of empty cup down there.
Okay.
I'll tell you, this one is one that was really very good up front. It's been getting better the more I drink of it, and I'm not saying it's because I'm, tasting less because I'm getting fucked up. It was only a 6.9. It really the flavors start to open up the warmer it got. Really, really nice beer. How about you? How's yours going?
Killed it. It was a fantastic beer. Just a really, awesome. Really, really great beer. Great way to start the show. And I know I have a hunch the next one's going to be pretty fantastic too. So I'm pretty excited for it.
Well, let's not keep our listeners waiting. Let's go get our second beers.
All right, getting to beer 2. And by the way, if you guys have never, those of you out there who haven't had any experience with Dropkick Murphys, you need to. Just a damn good beer. Band. Damn good band. They'd probably make a good beer. Oh my God,
could you imagine if they made a beer? Yeah, they'd be a great beer.
That'd be an angry dark
Iron Maiden
beer.
did it. Yeah.
Yes, they did. We actually have a couple.
Yeah, there's a few from that brewery.
Else.
Yeah. No, Dropkicks. I mean, I mean, when you're talking about bands that like influenced other bands or influenced you in your life,
yep.
I think the bands that like we kind of came of age listening to, I think they were pretty much all influenced by Dropkicks. Just a seminal band, and it's funny to me how many people have never heard of Dropkick Murphys.
It's
out
ridiculous.
In like normal society, quote unquote, whatever that means. Like the people we hang out with, everyone knows them, but
yeah,
other people they're like, who? I'm like, you get the fuck out of here. I can't even talk to you right now. Get out of my face.
Well, it really lends to like their credibility, right? Like, and it's kind of sucks, but what's your life experience? You've never been to a dropkick show?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that one, because getting to a show is kind of hard depending where you are. But you haven't listened to dropkick before?
Come on.
We might not be able to be friends. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Fitz, I've got a Prairie Artesian here, and I've never had it before. Yeah.
Okay.
Decided to splurge a little bit tonight. These things are stupid expensive. 12-ounce beer, you're pretty much paying $1 an ounce for them most of the time.
Right.
This is Razzle Dazzle. Barrel-aged imperial stout with toasted coconut, raspberry, and toasted marshmallow flavor. Okay. So, Prairie Artesian is a fantastic brewer.
I mean, they do their shit slow. They do it deep,
methodical.
They take their time. Yeah, they plan it out, and then they do it, and then they it's like one of those where you're like, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
Mm-hmm.
They do some good shit, and I don't think they make big bombers. I think the biggest one they make is 12 ounces.
Yeah. You're gonna pay for it. You're definitely gonna pay for it. But to that point, though, I've never had one that's been bad. They make every style that they make is great. Every one of them is fucking fantastic. Yeah. I think, aren't they from?
I thought they were from back east somewhere. I could be wrong.
I think no, Oklahoma. Yeah, they're in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah. Well, for me, that's back east.
Yeah, it's back east enough.
Sorry for all of our back east peeps, but that's east of me. So
yeah. Well, everything's gonna be east of you too. So
what's your point, McShane?
Well, I really didn't have one other than I wanted to get to this beer, so I'm sorry.
Left coast is the right coast. Anyway,
left coast. Unless you're in California, I can't give you that one.
Yeah, well, that's lower left coast. That doesn't count. They're gone. They're dead to me.
Oh my god, this is fucking crazy.
Okay,
so
talk us through it.
Okay, I'm gonna post a chat. Which listeners, if you guys are in the Insiders chat, you'd see this. So Fitz, go ahead and take a look in there. You guys are going to see the bottle. Now, I don't remember what that Hostess cake is. That rolled. It's like a chocolate log. It's got cream in the middle
Swiss
of it.
Miss?
It might be. Is that what it's called? Is it a Swiss Miss?
Yeah, I think that's a Swiss Miss.
So,
yeah.
This beer, Swiss roll. Aaron got us.
But it had the little Swiss girl on it, so I just always called her a Swiss Miss because I wanted her to be my wife. Anyway,
and her grab her pigtails. Was it pigtails?
No,
she does now.
She just had no. Well, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she grew them out. Okay. Anyway,
so one, it's barrel aged. Two, it has raspberries in it. There's coconut, and then you've got this chocolate roll. This beer tastes like a picture.
Okay. Like,
I mean, it seriously, I am tasting all of those ingredients wrapped up into one, and I get a picture when I drink it.
Like The Sound of Music, like what's her name dancing out in the Swiss Alps, like that kind of picture.
Yeah,
Julie
but
Andrews.
naked.
Is that Julie Andrews?
Yeah, but naked though.
Yeah. God, her voice. Right. I mean, right. Naked.
Very good beer, and a little bit of heat at the end too. You get a lot of raspberry though, and I love that. It is not short on raspberry, so it's a fantastic beer. Really good stuff. What do you have?
Well, by the way, I've talked on the show before about my little raspberry garden that by the way, I did not plant. It's my neighbor's raspberries are coming up under the fence. And so now I have a raspberry patch, and they got just ridiculously out of hand last year. I probably have 20 mason jars full of frozen raspberries in the freezer because I was eating them every day and I just couldn't keep up. So I just started freezing them. Well, because we've had a semi-warm winter this year because of the El Nino, they're already there's green leaves on every vine that I have out there. It's going to be, if last year was out of control, this is going to be off the hook. I don't know. Is that what the kids use now? Is that
That's what the kids say.
Off,
Yep.
off the hook.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
so
be
this is
lit.
gonna be off.
It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit. Yeah, this is a lit raspberry year, and I can't wait. I'm just gonna keep freezing them. I've been making some fruit compote for my pancakes. I've been, making like not even a jelly, just like a fruit spread with them. So I can't wait for more raspberries. Anyway,
So two
what do I
things
have?
you need to do. Well, hold on. Two things you need to do.
Yeah.
One, you need to make Fitz's barbecue sauce with raspberries.
Ooh, with a raspberry.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm gonna find a recipe for you. Do you remember? God, it must have been about 20 years ago when I was infusing vodka in 151.
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah. I'm going to
With the
find you
fruit?
that, and you need to do that with the raspberries, because raspberries in that recipe were the fucking bomb. And if you've got homemade raspberry, hose-made, that's nice. That's a new one. Homegrown.
Hey. Yeah.
That might
Yeah.
blow the fucking doors off.
I mean, and these things, these raspberries are unlike any raspberries I've ever had. That they're not the ones you get in the store. They just aren't. These are just like right out of the ground. Just, Anyway, okay. Well, let's do that. Let's start the Whiskey Hell fucking distillery, and make some flavored vodkas.
Done.
I love it.
All right.
All right.
What do you got?
So my beer is from Front Porch Brewing. They are from Connecticut. For those of you from Connecticut. I don't know. This says it's brewed and packaged by 12% in North Haven, Connecticut. So I don't know actually where this brewery is from. Front Porch Brewing.
Sorry. We'll
Anyway, yeah, this is called Neil's Donuts. This is a apple crumb donut style imperial stout. Listen to this, bitch. Listen to this. Imperial stout brewed with donuts, apples, and cinnamon. How could I not love this beer? I mean, if they fucked this up, I swear to God, I'm gonna fly to Connecticut and find whoever fucked it up, because that's apple from anything is like in my wheelhouse all the way. And this is a donut, and it's got cinnamon, and I'm all about it. So let's see how they did. By the way, this is like a what do we got? Like a 10.5%, 10%. So it's a little bit heavier than what I did last beer, which I wanted. So let's see what we got here.
This is the total opposite of a good website too. This is Front Porch Brewing.
Oh God.
.com. It's terrible.
Yeah, this is a terrible website. But this is a really good beer. Oh my God, I'm very happy. I think I want to. Do you remember that? I know everybody remembers that scene in American Pie, right?
Yes.
You know the scene I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yep. Warm apple pie.
Okay. So that is what's happening in my mouth right now. I'm basically being fucked in the mouth by this beer.
That's a sex beer, right?
Oh, it's totally a sex beer. It's so good. It's totally a sex beer.
I don't think you've had a sex beer that fucked you in the mouth.
No, I'm usually doing the I'm usually the pitcher on this, right? But I am the catcher tonight. So just enough apples, and they're like Red Delicious, not the green Granny apples, Granny Smith.
Okay.
Not Granny apples, Granny Smith apples. They're more the Red Delicious flavor that I'm getting, but there's definitely apple present. What I'm loving about this thing is the cinnamon. So you were kind of talking about how your beer had a little bit of spice on the end of it.
Yeah.
This cinnamon is just absolutely coating my throat in the best kind of hot. And
Wow.
I'm feeling it all the way down. I don't know if that's the booze or the cinnamon, but or a combo. But
what's the ABV?
Excellent beer. 10%.
Okay, so it's a heater.
So Yeah, it's a little bit of a heater, but not. I mean, you don't smell it. You don't get it up front. It's on the back end. Anyway, fantastic beer. Well done, Front Porch. Yeehaw.
Nice. All right. All right. Well, second half of the show is cruising along then. That's awesome.
Oh, it's gonna
Very
be
nice.
rocking. Yeah.
Very nice. I like.
If this beer's a rocking, don't come a knocking.
That's right. Hey, so Tyson Foods is laying off American workers and hiring 40,000 migrants.
I think you're kind of burying the lead here. They're also using bugs as protein.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Jesus, Tyson Foods. If you're still eating anything by Tyson, please stop.
The second,
and aren't they Chinese owned too? I think they're Chinese owned.
So I looked that up. I looked that up, and I didn't see that. Of course, I mean, it was going off the wiki. It looks like it's U.S. owned.
Okay.
Well,
that's another one for Ian.
Maybe there's
Ian
something
Carroll.
else in there. Yeah. Ian, go get that. But yeah, it's the second biggest food processor in the world.
Yeah.
Behind a Brazilian outfit. Tyson Foods, which dominates America. They're in bed with the bug protein lobby, the WEF, and they're also aiding and abetting the border problem that we've got.
Yeah.
I won't buy them anymore. I will not buy anything that Tyson has.
No, and I mean, to your point, to your original, right off the bat, headline, they're getting rid of American workers and they're hiring immigrants who are not supposed to be here in the first place. Or maybe some of them are. Maybe they are coming on a work visa, but either way, bet your ass they're not getting paid what they're worth. They're getting paid lower wages, which is why they're hiring them.
Exactly. And they're not going to pay them. They're not going to pay them benefits. They're going to work them longer hours. They're going to pay them less.
Yep.
This is what we've been saying all along. This is what the border is all about. This is what the borders being open is all about. It's one, water down America. Make sure that it's as confusing as fucking possible. You're doing as much damage as you possibly can to the American person, the American way of life. Make sure that you're harming the workers, which is pivotal, especially when the economy is in the fucking toilet as it is right now.
Yeah.
And now you can go ahead and you can replace Americans with anybody who goes ahead and gets across the border. That's what this has all been about, and we're finally fucking seeing it.
Yep. Well, and this is all on top of, okay, so you're paying your workers less to put out I don't know, maybe it's the same quality product, but probably it's not the same quality. It's probably less. And we have shrinkflation going on, right? I mean, this is the company saying, well, if we really charge the consumer what this product really costs to make, it's going to be too much sticker shock. So we'll charge the same price, but we'll reduce the quantity. That's basically the basic part of shrinkflation is you get a smaller stick of deodorant, but you're still paying the same price. It's now 10 ounces as opposed to 12. Well, so on top of them doing all of that, charging us more for less, they're also lowering their own costs by hiring migrants or immigrants. I used the wrong word. God damn it. Shoot me in the face.
Yeah, you can't call them illegal. Joe found that out at the State of the Union. You can't call them illegal.
Right. No, you cannot. So they are basically what they're doing is increasing their profit margin on both ends. They're lowering their own costs on the input and they're hiring their costs on the output. What the fuck? Fuck you guys. Fuck Tyson. Fuck all the big producers out there. Fuck everybody who's making my life harder and making my friends' lives harder and making the American people's lives harder. Fuck all of you.
Here's the kicker for me is that they're going to blame capitalism for this.
It's not.
It's not fucking capitalism.
It's not, because capitalism says, hey, we're going to bring you the newest, biggest, best thing next year. And you're going to want it because it's so much better. This is the opposite of that. This is lower quality and less for the same price. That's not capitalism. That's sheer greed, is what that is.
No, it's sheer greed, and it's a government who's allowing it to happen. They're fueling it. When the government stays out of the economy, things are fine. It is self-regulated. Yes, I'm an Adam Smith guy. But when it comes to this kind of bullshit, no. This is the government who's tweaking it and making sure that it's okay for big businesses to go ahead and make an extra buck and cut corners, Boeing, and make sure that even if we do a shitty job, we're going to make bank off of it. And we can even say that, in big pharma, with everything that's happening with Pfizer and Moderna and all the cancer treatments and all the everything. This is what we do. The government fuels it. If the government stayed the fuck out of it, you wouldn't have these kind of problems.
Yeah.
Sorry, soapbox.
No. I can't believe I'm. Not only am I nodding and agreeing with what you're saying, because you're exactly right. I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say, but I miss the good old days of Reaganomics, right? Like small government, and let capitalism take the lead on things and make things better for the everyday Joe. I miss those days.
Because the everyday Joe is going to fucking guide it. If I don't want to buy something, I'm not going to.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you're going to find out that your stuff is shit. But I'm going to go out, I'm going to buy the best stuff, right? I'm going to buy the quality. Instead, we get Tyson Foods announces partnership with Protix for more sustainable protein production. This came out on October 17th. I'm pretty sure we had it the same goddamn week it came out. But these are the guys that are going to go ahead and add bug protein to Tyson Foods. So enjoy the journey. Get off the Tyson train.
And it's hard because Tyson owns I don't know 30 some subsidiaries.
Everything.
Yeah, I can't even think of all of my. I sent you guys a graphic of all the shit they own.
Yeah,
there you go.
Here's the brand. Here it is.
Farm,
Tyson,
Jimmy
Lee, Dean,
Ballpark. Yeah, Jimmy Dean. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Hillshire Farms, Ballpark, Wright Brand, Bosco's, Gallo Salami, Chairman's Reserve, Star Ranch Angus, Big
Mexican
AZ.
Original.
Mexican
Original. So here's
Original.
the problem. Here's the problem that oh God, some of these I didn't even see. Here's the problem is that I can control this, like what comes into my home. But if you go out to eat,
no, yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna flash your server, a picture of this and say, "Hey, do you use any of these products?" The server's gonna be like, "Oh, I don't know." It's like, "Well, can I get the fucking cookout here?" And what's the cook gonna say? "Oh, yeah, we use Ballpark here, or we use Hillshire Farm here at this restaurant."
Yeah.
So then you get up and leave? No, the chef's gonna be like, "Nope, we don't use any of those, and we only use the best products here, sir." I mean, you're never gonna know. So I mean, whether you like it or not, you're gonna be eating bugs. You're going to be eating bugs, and I'm not saying that that's going to kill you or harm you in any way, but that's not
what you paid for.
That's not how most. Yeah, it's not what we're paying for, and it's not how most of us were raised. You eat bugs as a last fucking resort, not when you go out to pay for a fucking meal, and they're bringing you a bug burger. Fuck you. Fuck that. Sorry, I'm saying fuck a lot tonight, but I got an edge.
No.
I got a chip on my shoulder.
That's all
ridiculous.
right. It's a good chip to have. Buy local. Pay the extra couple bucks for your butcher.
Right. Yes.
Just do it. For one, the meat is way the fuck better. I guarantee you it's better.
Oh yeah. It's gonna taste better.
It's
for sure.
locally sourced. I've had hot dogs that are absolutely fucking superior to anything that I can get in a regular grocery. Okay, if you want to get, and that's like the most unbutcher thing to get, right?
Right. Yep.
Your meat's gonna be better. The quality is gonna be better. It's coming from the farm or the slaughterhouse straight to you. It's not sitting in a freezer someplace. I made a ton of jerky this week, and I was just on a kick. I was like, I'm going to go and do this. Fuck it. I'm just on it.
Yeah.
The second I went to Costco, right? Costco. I got the Costco. It was a sliced sirloin, and I was so fucking pissed when I opened up the package and half of it was still frozen. Like, you fuckers. The
Yeah.
first time I got it, it was perfectly fine. And I went to
Yeah.
Costco because Costco's butchers were like pretty decent usually.
Well, it's
Well,
supposed to be.
And then this next pack that I got, because I did a test sample run to see if I could do it right. And then I went ahead and I did this next batch, which was going to be a full batch. It was like 4 pounds of jerky that I did. It was going to dehydrate it, and it was marinated and the whole thing. It was like pretty killer. Half of the meat was frozen when I got it. So now I'm like, okay, the meat's not fresh. I did it. I went ahead and I made it anyway, but I'm not going back to them again. I'm not going to go there for that. I can go to a butcher and I can get sirloin and I can have them go ahead and I can slice it up for me. I want jerky, cut beef. Just do it for me. Your butchers will save you.
I mean,
you're saving your farms when you do it.
Exactly. I mean, it should be. I mean, most economies should be local. I mean, that's one thing that I would say Europe is probably doing better than we are.
Yeah.
Because you can still go to, areas in Europe. I mean, if you're in London proper, most people shop on their way home from work. They buy fresh bread. They go to their butcher. They get some fresh meats. They go to their, farmer's market, get some fresh greens.
Yep.
And they make their meal, fresh from fresh shit that came out of the ground 20 feet away. And we're here in the States, and I think part of it's because we're so big, we're so spread out, and that a lot of cities are so far removed from the farms that they've created these processes to, like you said, butcher and freeze stuff to get it to you somewhat fresh. I mean, the fact that you can get decent seafood in Phoenix, Arizona, in a desert, that's kind of creepy.
Weird. It is weird.
Yeah, you're hundreds of miles away from the nearest body of water that could produce that. So
yeah, the old adage is you don't get seafood unless you can see the ocetion. Yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
Right. And so I get why we've done it. I get how we got here, but isn't it something that with all of this stuff coming down, that so many of us are looking at ways to go back to how it used to be.
Yeah.
Go to your butcher, grow your own shit in your own fucking yard. Raise your own animals. A lot of people are doing these things to be not only self-sufficient, but to also cut costs. It's cheaper to own your own shit. Have your own chickens. We're going to have chickens this spring, and we're going to start getting our own eggs. That's going to be a huge cost savings because we eat a lot of eggs around here. Plus, we can give them to our neighbors and our friends. It's they're forcing us to go back to how things used to be because the way things are so far gone. We don't want to be part of that. It's way past where we want to be.
Yep. So our chat tonight, Beard of Liberty, coming soon, Tyson bug nuggets with even more chemicals and filler than the chicken. Goddamn right.
Yeah.
Seriously. Aaron makes his own hot dogs. That's rad.
Yeah.
That's kind of a pain in the ass to do. That's dedication. That's solid.
Dude, that's next level. Good for you.
So
and by the way,
what kind of casings are you using? Sorry, go ahead.
No, next time I'm in the Chicago area, we're gonna hook up, and I expect homemade hot dogs from the grill.
An Aaron
and
dog?
I'll bring the beer.
Aaron's hot dog. That's fantastic. Aaron's sausage.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Beard. I want to taste Aaron's hot dog.
Go to your local farmers. Go to farmers markets. Don't fucking go to chains anymore. Fuck them. Seriously.
Yep.
Oh. So TikTok's being banned again.
All right. So this whole thing now has taken a turn. And again, I know we've said his name before, but thank you, Ian Carroll, for really doing a deep dive on this. And he's not the only one. I shouldn't just mention him. A few people
No.
have done the deep dive on this and have found out that
Absolutely.
really this isn't about China. In fact, Ian's video I saw today, and it might have come out a couple days ago, but I just saw it today. He was basically saying, like, look, I accidentally stumbled upon this. I made a video. I put some hashtags in it, and one of the hashtags was being pro-Palestinian.
Right.
And that video never saw the light of day. It had
Yeah.
like 19,000 views.
Yeah. It's
So
all being
then he made
suppressed.
the same. Yep, he made the same video, and he didn't put that hashtag on it, and it had like 2.2 million views. So this is all about Zionism and anti-Palestinian Islamicism, and not about China. It's not about your ability for China to take your information, or anything. It has nothing to do with China. In fact, he proved that TikTok as a company is only 20% Chinese owned. The other 80% is either part of the employees, which 7,000 of them are here in the U.S., and then the other 60% is American subsidiaries. So they're not Chinese owned. They are a Chinese company, but they're not Chinese owned anymore.
Not all of
this-
it. I mean, there is
Right.
there
There's
is
parts
an
of it, for
influence
sure.
there. We got to give them
For
that.
sure.
But
For sure.
not
But it's-
the way our government, not the way
Right.
the House this week just
Right.
decided we have to go out, we got to get out there and ban it. That's not.
Exactly. No.
It's just not the truth. It's just not the truth.
No, once again, it's not the truth. I mean, it's never the truth with our government anymore, ever.
It makes me worry about like whatever was the truth. Like everything's just been one
Me
big
too.
lie.
I know it's like the more you find out now, the more you ask about what happened in the past. And I mean, I know how we got here. I get it. But really is hiding the truth from your children ever a good idea? I mean, in the end, they're going to find out anyway, right? Like, no, your mom and I are fine, when really, you're yelling and
fucking
screaming
not.
at 2 a.m. Yeah. And the kids hear it. You think they're sleeping. They're not. They hear it. They know. And then when they're teenagers, they're like, why weren't you just honest with us? And then they end up being alienated anyway. It's like that with the government. They're like, no, everything's fine. We're not doing anything nefarious around the world. We're the good guys.
We're taking
and
care of you.
We're
This is
taking
good
care
for
of
you.
you.
Yeah.
And then the more we find out, it's like, well, no, actually, none of that's true. And now, guess what? We're alienated from you. We don't want you. We want nothing to do with you. I want less of you in my life.
All right. Before we go to the next entity that's trying to take it over, now this is some of the rhetoric that came out. This was originally what came out before everybody started really grinding it. And I know we talk about Ian Carroll a lot. We do a hell of a lot of our own research and stuff like that. So a lot of this stuff is not. We're glad that somebody else is seeing it too.
Corroborating.
This is from Representative Thomas Massey. The so-called TikTok ban is a Trojan horse. The president will be given power to ban websites, not just apps. The person breaking the new law is deemed to be the U.S. or offshore internet hosting services or app store, not the foreign adversary. Because there's actual lingo in this bill. It says foreign adversaries. Okay, that is a point that's being made. That's going to be one of the things that would be. It could be used against X, right? There's a lot of there was a lot of rhetoric around this early in the week, end of last week, that it is going to be used to get rid of X. Our show could be getting rid of. Okay.
Yep.
Anything that's online could be done away with because all they have to do is say, well, you're working with a foreign entity.
Yeah, or you're influenced by a foreign entity.
Right.
I mean, how would we disprove that? Like,
I have no idea.
From the very beginning, we've been not pro-Russian, but like, hey, you need to look at our actions, which provoked the Russian-Ukraine conflict. And they could very easily argue that we are Russian influenced, even though we're not.
Sure.
I don't
Just because
I don't know one Russian.
Well, if you stay down the middle, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is say, well,
Right.
You're blackballed.
Right.
You know, it's like it was like the McCarthy hearings.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like, dude. They're just blacklisting people.
Now,
Crazy.
this all comes out right before the election. Yeah, I got to remember, we got to keep that into perspective.
Oh yeah, November's coming.
All right, let's throw it out to Ian because I enjoy his takes. So,
video I showed that the Zionists are trying to buy TikTok, but has anyone looked at who brought the bill in the first place and who pays him? Because I just did. Here, check this out. This is the bill right here. Representative Mike Gallagher. That would be this charming devil right here. And if we look at his top contributors for this election cycle, Palantir and Google are at the top with $44,000 and $40,000. But right there, that's AIPAC with $17,000. But wait, there's more. We're gonna switch this to the last election cycle in 2022 and scroll down. And would you look at that? His top contributor that got him elected in 2022 was AIPAC with $44,000 contribution. If you didn't know, that's the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, the Zionist lobby group that doesn't need to register as a foreign agent because they refuse to. So just to clarify, the TikTok ban bill was introduced by a guy whose some of his top contributions are coming from the Zionists and from Google and Palantir, top tech companies associated with the CIA and Mossad. And now Mnuchin's trying to buy it, and ever since he stopped being Treasury Secretary for Trump, his business model is basically just ally with as many Zionists as humanly possible. People like David Friedman, people like the ex-chief of Mossad, Yossi Cohen, getting board seats on companies like Cyber Reason, an Israeli tech cyber company, which it's worth noting also has a Google person on their board, as well as Lockheed Martin. I mean, I'm speculating here. These are not facts, but it's looking more and more like the Israel lobby is the one that brought the bill. And now it's looking like Zionists are lining up to buy TikTok. Can't imagine why. And if you can't imagine why, here's an audio from the chief of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, that might enlighten you as to why.
But I also want to point out that we have a major generational problem. All the polling I've seen, ADL's polling, ICC's polling, independent polling, suggests this is not a left-right gap, folks. The issue in the United States of support for Israel is not left and right. It is young and old. And the numbers of young people who think that Hamas's, massacre was justified is shockingly and terrifyingly high. And so we really have a TikTok problem, a Gen Z problem, that our community needs to put the same brains that gave us Taglit, the same brains that gave us all these other amazing innovations, need to put our energy toward this, like, fast. Because again, like, we've been chasing this left-right divide. It's the wrong game. The real game is the next generation.
Are you getting the picture yet? Because I got a picture that might help you. And I just want to remind you that pro-Palestine content on TikTok is some of the most censored content there is. And despite that, this is the data from TikTok. No one on TikTok is trying to support Israel. Everyone on TikTok is trying to support Palestine. Mr.
we'll stop it there because we also got half eight here. But just to kind of give you guys an idea, the Free Palestine hashtags, 82.6 million. Free Palestine, and then there's some love, and there's a flag in there, 35.4 million. Free Gaza, 5.3 million hashtag uses. Free Palestine, a flag, 4.8. You don't see anything in there. It is incredibly one-sided. So it does speak to reason that it would make sense that Israel right? Well, the Zionists, however you want to go about saying it.
Yeah, right.
They need a platform. They need a tech platform. I think there's a lot of validity to this.
Yeah. I mean, just those stats that he showed in that last little bit that you froze it on. I mean, it's like, what gets flagged, what doesn't? What's allowed through the filters, what isn't? Proof is in the pudding right there. You can say whatever you want to say, but when you look at the facts, there it is. Unbelievable.
So I started off when this first came out. I thought it was very strange with all the bullshit that was going on with Biden and all this kind of stuff. And then you also had the drop at the State of the Union where he was going to have a come to Jesus meeting with Netanyahu. And then Netanyahu this week has gotten a tremendous amount of pushback. Somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody even said that he needs to step down. One of ours, I think it was a senator, a U.S. senator said that.
A senator, yep.
That he needs to step down. All while you have this going on. So again, going back to what we always say, what's a diversion? What's the actual goal of what is happening? Right.
What's going on behind the scenes? Always have to look. You always have to dig. Every story we see now, we have to dig.
Always got to dig. You know what I'm enjoying the most, Fitz, is that we've already covered a lot of this shit.
Of it.
Like months and months ago. We were already on it. We were already on the ADL business. We were already on TikTok. We have already done at least one show on TikTok. This is fun. I love this shit.
Agreed. Let's keep staying ahead of the curve. Hey, speaking of curves, Hefe.
How's it hanging, brother? Everybody wants to know.
Well, I went out there, and first table I went to, the Big Tipper was there.
Ooh,
nice.
Okay.
Wait, please tell me you didn't freeze him out.
Well, I'm following this girl dealer, and he goes, "Oh, I like girls," and he got up and walked away. And as he was walking away, I said, "I used to be a girl," and it didn't help.
Oh shit!
And then
I would have stayed just for that, dude.
I thought I might get him for at least one hand, and then so I went to the Ultimate Texas Hold'em table, right, which is basically Texas Hold'em, but it's a table game version where it's you against the dealer. Okay,
right.
So if you're playing that game and you have Jack 7 in your hand, and you look at the board and you're like, I don't have anything, and you throw your hand away. And the dealer, instead of taking your $30 and just putting it in the bank and moving on, he looks at your hand and says, "Oh, you have a 7, you have a straight," and gives the hand back to you. So instead of losing 30, you actually win about $100. Would you tip the dealer?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought so too. Nothing.
I would even be tempted.
Not even a thank you.
I would even be tempted to tip him the 70. Like, I'd just be happy to get my 30 back and then give him the other 70.
Yeah. Anything.
You just looked at him and you just go, "Hey, you're welcome." And then
I
move
did.
on to the next.
I said, "You're welcome." It didn't phase him. It just went right over his head.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
People
you know
are
what?
fucking stupid.
That's
terrible.
That's what's wrong with people. I'm not even going to say it's generational or it's cultural. It doesn't matter.
They're insensitive and stupid.
People in general are so fucking selfish and self-absorbed these days that you can't even have a normal civil, exchange. Like, hey, the dealer just helped you out. You should probably tip him.
You can't even talk about Sydney Sweeney's boobs.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's do this. All right.
I'm so upset I can't talk about boobs.
No, that's not true. Bullshit. we all know that's not true.
Okay. Now, as we like to do with all of our sources, we always know where the source comes from, where it lies on the political spectrum. Slate, a ultra-left publication, Sydney Sweeney's boobs are not that big. If anything, they're kind of average. By Shannon Palace. This comes after
like-
she had an absolute, she raked, like SNL, like one of the best episodes of SNL in years.
Oh yeah, she killed it.
And
she killed it, and not just because of her boobs. Like she was
no,
genuinely
she was
funny
genuinely awesome,
and charismatic.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she was great. Yeah.
And Slate has to go out and post this. And just for the record, those are really great boobs. I think those are great. And
they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're at least a high C. Hefe, you're the expert. I'm going to yield to you.
I am the connoisseur.
You are the connoisseur.
I've got my reading glasses on. I'm zooming.
Okay. Maybe a D.
Maybe a D.
Those could, they're C to the D, somewhere in there, which is
it's a good outfit.
Well within my range.
Well, those are exactly. Those are the kind that, like, if she wants to show them off, she's gonna wear a C cup bra, and then if she wants to go jogging, it's gonna be a D cup, right?
Or none. I mean, if you're gonna jog,
I'm not a fan of that, because then later in life you have issues. So, but no, I mean, why? Okay, you're Slate magazine. You're the editor. You're not the editor. You're this female journalist. This is what you choose to write about? Of all the fucking things you could write about. And I'm sure Sydney Sweeney has other things in her life you could write about. Political or
absolutely.
Maybe she has BO. I mean, something. But you choose the thing that's like probably most perfect about her. I mean, she's beautiful. She's perfect in every way, but her boobs are like inarguably gorgeous. And that's what this person picked to write about.
Yeah.
That would be like trying to write about my personality, right? I mean, I'm like, my personality's perfect. How could you write about my height, write about my dick size, but you can't write about my personality because I'm awesome.
It's flawless.
What the hell? Flawless. Thank you.
It's a hit piece on somebody's boobs.
That she has no
this is
control
where
over.
the left is. This is where the left fucking is.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be so hateful rather than just like embracing a person who like people are actually enjoying. You have to write a hit piece, a fucking hit piece about somebody's chest, a fucking body part.
Are they saying it's that they're not attractive, or that she's showing them off too much?
No, that they're not that big.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not that big.
They're
like,
trying
hey, everybody.
To take,
yeah.
They're trying to take attention away from. They're saying, you're yeah, okay, they're nice, but they're not that big. Come on.
Yeah, come on, everybody.
That's what it comes
Calm the fuck down. And you know what? Beard in chat had a great point. So much for body positivity.
Yeah.
Right? We're supposed to appreciate. We're all supposed to love who you are. As you're big, great. You're big. You're small, fine. You're small. She's who she is. That's who she was born as. They grew like that, and we're gonna knock it because they're not that big. And then other girls get knocked because they don't have big enough, or too big, or I mean, my God, you could pick anything you want about anyone and fucking hit it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we get it. You're jealous. Yeah. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a piece of shit. Exactly. This is where we always get to. Half of our problems are from lying and people being shitty.
Yep.
And that's where this comes from.
Yep.
Now, I give you Hannah Barron.
Yes, Hannah. Hannah. Yeah.
She just got hammered.
Yep, noodling, right? I was just going to say noodling.
That's what I'm talking about.
There we go. Woo.
That's what I'm talking about, too. Hannah.
Okay, so Hannah Barron
big fish.
Took shit this week, or actually, I think it was last week, because she's kind of caught fire this week. Hannah's 27 years old. She's from Alabama. She's a down-home Southern girl, very much a strong entity. She's works on a farm. She's building her own house. She doesn't need anybody. But apparently, the beautiful people are giving her shit because she's not feminine enough. This is the sexiest fucking part of femininity that I can fucking come up with. This is awesome.
Same. Like,
do what you want to fucking do.
It's like if you're gonna be independent and strong, you're not allowed to also be pretty. That's basically what these people are saying. And she's out there just doing it all. She's just out there living her life and being like, hey, I can do all these things. And also, I got genetically gifted. I won the fucking lottery. I'm beautiful. Like, what's wrong with that? And on top of it, she has a work ethic that will outpace anybody I know.
She'd kick my ass.
Why is that a bad thing? Hell yeah. I'd fight her.
It shouldn't.
And I'd let her win. Like, Jesus.
And Beard brings up a really good point. And one of the main attacks on her was that she has an accent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
she's fucking, it's South Alabama. What the fuck do you want?
Right. Yeah, but
that's dumb.
You know, PSA, we have an accent to every British and Australian and South African out there. Like, we have an American accent. There's accents just mean you're from somewhere. They don't have to be a bad thing. Look at her. She can also put on a fucking blue miniskirt and be a knockout at prom.
Yeah. Tabby, you're very generous. I'd let her lick my butthole. That's.
I'm right there with you, Tabs. Yep, same. Big time.
Moral of the story: stop hating.
Yeah, seriously.
It's not becoming. You're not doing anything to further anything. It doesn't matter whether you're, short, skinny, fat, small, 6'5". Let everybody do their own fucking thing. I mean, Jesus Christ, is it really worth it? Find something else better to do with your time. Yeah, she's a tomboy. Okay. Get over it. All right, Hefe.
See you guys.
Hey, don't cool anyone else off. Make some money.
I'll do my best.
Thank
All right,
you, sir.
Later.
All right, see you guys.
All right. I'm done.
we
had to get that out of the way.
No. I mean, 100% what you're saying. And I'm just going to, my last comment will be, I've always been attracted to, and I know you and Hefe know this about me. And actually, I think you and I share this, Hefe to some degree, but I'm looking for a partner, not even just someone in my life who is as or more capable than me. Because you know what? I want to learn from you. I want to be able to do things you can't. I want you to be able to do things I can't. So I'm always looking for
you want to be with somebody who's going to raise the bar?
Yeah. I want someone who's going to challenge me, who's going to make me a better person, not somebody who I can dominate, not somebody who I can tell that they talk funny or that they don't talk the way I want them to talk. No, I want the personality that's going to be there to be like, hey, you know what? You're kind of fucking shit up. You need to get your shit straight. Or, hey, you did a great job. Because when they say you did a great job, I know they mean it. And that's like the difference. I don't want to hear I did a great job just because that's what you're supposed to say. I want to hear it because you're being honest with me. And that because you really admire the work that I've done. So there it is. Not only is there nothing wrong with her, she is 10 times more sexy because she is strong and independent and knows shit that I don't. Yeah. And I mean, what an amazing partner to have. Oh yeah, what'd you and your wife do this weekend? Oh, we started building our house, and she did most of the fucking work. And then she jumped in the lake and pulled out a 30-pound catfish by the gills. I mean, what?
And the house was her design.
Yeah. What did your wife do? Oh, she sipped wine with the ladies. Oh, okay. But my wife built a house. Like, come on, there's no comparison.
Yeah. Well, Macron, the French president.
That was an amazing transition. Because
French.
that's not a wife. And sorry, what? Go ahead. My bad.
As soon as the narrative shifted on Macron, the French president, everybody
And
started
his
talking
husband.
about his wife is a husband. His wife
Yeah.
apparently is a dude. Okay, this is like the narrative of the week. He immediately starts trying to go to war with Russia.
Immediately.
Like it was on a dime. Oh shit! I better
allies,
go to. I better
allies
go to.
with, yeah, he allies with Germany and Norway,
Yes.
and got Sweden into NATO
Oh,
immediately. Yeah, so this whole
It legit happened. There was no doubt about this was the cover up. We're never nobody's going to war with Russia. This was just to get all of the anger, all of the pressure off of his wife, who apparently was a dude. Now keep in mind, Brigitte was 40 years old when she got with Macron in the first place, and he was 15.
and he was 15, right? So already it's weird.
Already you've got some
and if-
weird shit going on. Yes.
All of you need to do yourselves a favor again and go out and look at Candace Owens' breakdown of their. She goes through the whole thing, the history of their relationship, all the fishy shit that happened, the 6 journalists that did a deep dive on this and found out all the facts.
Yeah.
And really, just to sum up Candace's whole video, it's like, hey Macron, if you want all this to go away, or Brigitte, why don't you just produce some pictures of you 30 years ago, or for the last 30 years? There's literally no photographic evidence. There's 2 pictures they put out, one of her and her brother, which looks like her
allegedly
more than
Yep.
and then one of her in Catholic school, allegedly, but it actually turned out to be her daughter, so it's not even her. And so literally you could make this all go away. If someone accused me of being a woman, I could go back and show them 49 years of pictures of me and the fact that I'm not a woman.
Here's
Like,
the
it would be
dick
very
pic
easy
that I
for
sent
me-
in 2019,
Yes.
2014,
Yes, it would be very
2013.
easy for me to disprove that. Very easy. It wouldn't even be a thing. And that's why no one will ever accuse me of being a woman. It's so easy to dispel, but they won't do it. They're just going to do a lawsuit now. Defamation of character. It's nuts.
But going
and
back
by the-
to...
Oh, go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
No, I was just going to say, and by the way, I can't believe that I'm a Candace Owens fan. At first, I didn't know, I didn't understand where she was coming from.
Right.
So I really was like, what is she, what? She's black and she's anti-BLM? What?
Oh, she totally is.
And
yeah.
then I found out what BLM was all about, and I'm like, you
Oh.
go, girl. You know your shit.
Yeah.
I am a Candace Owens fan all the way now, and she really this was a great video. It's 15 minutes long, so we're not going to play it on the show, but it's really a nice expose, and it gives nice bullet points as to not proof, but pretty much irrefutable doubt to the fact
Absolutely. That's what it is.
that Brigitte is actually Jean Michael, born John Michael, and then married Macron at 15, or that's when they first got together. Yikes! What a what a fucking weird world we live in.
Says it turns out a 3-year investigation took the journalists working with genealogists, and what they found was explosive. Brigitte Macron was born a man named Jean Michael. Jean Michael lived as a man for 30 years, fathered 5 children, and transitioned at the age of 30 to become Brigitte. After?
Wow.
Well, actually, not even after. I mean, he met Macron about 10 years later. So, yeah, it's awesome.
And you know
Let's
what?
go start
Here's
a
the
war
thing.
to avoid talking about my husband's dick. That's
Here's the
what we
dude.
came out to.
If they came out
Wife's dick,
and
sorry.
and Macron was like, hey, here's the deal. I was 15. I met this older man, and he fingered my butthole just right, and we fell in love, and we got married, and we made a life together, and now I'm the president. We'd all be like, okay, kind of weird, but you go. Like, no big deal. Thank you for being honest. Like, there would be some people that would have a problem with that. But most of us would just be like, okay, I have to go to work tomorrow, so you and your life don't mean shit to me. I have to go to work so I can buy beer on the weekend. So thank you for being honest. We're going to move on. The fact that we're now finding out you're lying, and then you're covering it up, and you're going to distract us with possible nuclear fucking thermonuclear war, that's not okay. That's not okay.
Just for the record, I am buying that Chuck Schumer's wife is a dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a total dude. That's a little mousy guy.
Iris is a dude. It's okay.
With a pearl necklace on. That's all that is. That's a dude in drag for sure.
It's normalizing, like the way we started off the beginning of the show. It's we're normalizing cannibalism. Apparently, there's already been the whole MAPS thing. We're trying to normalize being a pedo, and now we've got normalizing a very wealthy, very in tune couple that both of them have dicks. It's fine. That's the message that's being sent. I don't know what else to say. Whether I buy it or not is totally different.
You know what? If you're two consenting adults, I don't care if you both have
Who gives a shit?
Fucking butterflies for dicks. Like, fine, let them flap together all night. I don't care. It's when you start getting into like influencing children, you will never convince me or any rational person that converting a minor to do sexual acts is okay. Never.
No, it never is. It never is.
And on top of it, to convert them into another sexuality, because children are easily influenced. We know this. That's why we don't let them get tattoos. We don't let them get piercings. They're not allowed to drink. They're not allowed to vote. They're not allowed to drive. But hey, you know what? If you feel like a girl, let's go ahead and remove that penis. What? At 8 years
3
old?
3 years old. Yeah, exactly.
10, 12, even 16. Your brain isn't fully formed yet, person. Why don't you just go ahead and explore yourself a bit? If you're gay, you're gay. If you want to be trans at 21 years old, okay, I get it. You have lived 21 years in that body, and it ain't jiving with you. We fully support you.
Yeah,
but at 8,
you're good.
Yeah, no. Jesus.
And don't start a fucking war because you want to make sure that nobody talks about your wife having a dick.
Dude, I mean, that's the thing. It's like,
it
whatever your kink is, it's your kink. It shouldn't affect the fact that you're either a good leader or you're not.
And
right
don't
now,
push it on
leader.
everybody else. Don't push it on everybody else. It's
right.
Oh, fuck. So the big diversion, I think, of the whole week, once TikTok wasn't received very well, and Haiti went over. That was weird.
Yeah.
And
barbecue.
You had the whole barbecue thing. Bernie wanted to go and put in a 32-hour work week.
Yeah, he did. And
how does this randomly fucking come up?
More diversion, I guess, and more to just like keep him in people's mouths, I guess. I mean, listen, I'm all for a shorter work week, but I don't know how I get all my shit done in 40 hours. I don't. I mean, I don't.
No.
I've not worked a 40-hour week in a long time.
And
it's always over.
Yeah, I'm not knocking. I think there is some validity to it. But again, going back to the stories, right? This was a pressure valve. This was a release. Let's get the eyes off of the stuff that we failed at this week, because nobody likes the whole TikTok thing. That shit the bed. People figured out that it was probably a Zionist like thing. The State of the Union went sideways. That was a shit show. We
God.
figured out that, well, it's going to be Trump and Biden again. Yippee-ki-yay. Let's go throw Bernie out there. Do your thing with the 32-hour work week. That's always good for laughs. That's what my takeaway was.
Yeah, same. I mean, and same with the well, there was a few stories out that were just like diversionary tactics. Then there was a few that went under the radar. The whole Advil thing. Advil is claiming that there's pain inequity between races,
right?
Which I don't really even know what that means. First of all, I'm not aware of a study that has studied African American patients claim that they have a 3 on their pain scale and they get this drug, but white patients claim they have a 3 and they get this drug. Like, where's that study? I don't know where they're even basing this on. But okay, let's just say that's the thing, and that we don't treat pain the same. That's not an Advil problem. That's like a societal, hospital, medical field problem where they should probably be examining this. This ad campaign, all this was complete just posturing, right? Just woke. I'm going to put my shit out there so you all know that I am woke and I am DEI and I am with you. And that's all this was. It's ridiculous.
But it's so clickbaity, right? It's such an easy, it's a low hung softball that the left doesn't. And this is the thing that kills. I know you guys aren't all stupid. I know you're not. I know you're smarter than this. You settle for what's easy. And rather than looking at this picture, and we posted it on our timeline, I still have no problem doing it because the comment that we put out there was calling attention to the publicity of it. Okay, this was a marketing campaign. That was nothing. It had nothing about equalizing shit. It had nothing in there about making things better. It didn't say what Advil is doing to make this equity gap better.
Pain equity.
Pain equity.
The first sentence, 3 in 4 black people suffering from pain believe. That's the key word. They believe that there is a bias in pain and how their pain is treated. So they just think, well, they're not giving me the same shit that guy's getting. They believe that. There's no study. There's no scientific basis to this at all. They believe it, so it must be true. So Advil's going to put out this fucking end cap. Oh my God. How the fuck did we get here? What the fuck?
Well, and the response that we got online, which I thought was an intelligent source or intelligent, I'm not going to call him a listener because I don't think they've ever listened to the show. And if they knew, they wouldn't be calling us the things they're calling us. Is incredibly woke, very left wing, very, oh my gosh, everybody's against me, all this kind of stuff. Very much, they're so entrenched in victimhood that this is exactly the response that I would have get. And I didn't even reply back to it because the whole point was that, look, this is a marketing campaign. This is what Advil's doing. Okay, this is what they're trying to do. It's actually very racist when you look at it.
It really is. It's very racist.
You want to call somebody racist? Call Advil racist. Because everything about this is racist.
And call yourself racist for supporting this.
We said this a long time ago, Fitz, that anything is racist if you work hard enough. You can go and call anything racist. I'm sure we can find half of the things that we talked about tonight were racist. But we go ahead. People want to go ahead and say we're not gonna look at the actual problem. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take that low hanging fruit. We're just gonna call it racism. We're gonna call it climate change. That's the reason somebody's against us. No, it's because you're fucking stupid. And you don't want to go any farther. You don't want to look for what the actual issue is. And the issue is that people actually latch on to this bullshit. People actually want to go ahead and go, oh, well, now we've got division. Well, Advil's backs black people. Okay. Do they really? What are they doing in the neighborhoods to affect black neighborhoods? What are they doing to make sure that blacks get opportunity? I haven't looked up Advil's hiring practices. What's their hiring practices? How many points did they get on their DEI score for putting up fucking marketing like this? This is what the left doesn't look at. And this is why I still say, and I will say this tomorrow, and I will keep saying it, this is why our show is important, because we are calling out the obvious bullshit that people don't want to deal with. Cut the bullshit.
Yeah, it's almost as if they were saying like, hey, Advil wasn't actually accessible to black people before we put up this end cap. Like only black people look at end caps.
Really?
All the white people look in the aisles, but black people only look on the end caps. So we're going to put this display here. And for those of you not playing at home, I'll just describe it for you. All of the cardboard that all these Advil tablets are on, or the boxes are on, is all black. The writing is yellow and white on black background. I mean, it is so clearly posturing.
Believe my pain. The Advil Pain Equality Project.
Jesus.
Black health.
Absurd.
Okay.
Absurd.
Everybody has pain. Everybody should have access to pain remedies. Absolutely. I'm right there fucking with you.
And who's denying that? I'm sorry. Is there like some advocacy group that's like, no, black people don't feel. They don't have any pain. They don't deserve painkillers. No, but there's literally no group that says that. None. Nobody.
It's fucking ridiculous. And the show, the person that reached out, didn't even reach out to us, slammed us. You're a fucking idiot. And I don't know what to tell you. Do not listen. I know you already know you unfollowed us, and I think that's great because you're obviously not our audience. You need to go ahead and stick with your left wing fuck nuts that, your little party that you guys have on the weekend, whatever it is, because it's fucking ridiculous and you can't work in the spectrum.
Well, you know what's really telling is that I actually tried to engage in a dialogue, a discussion.
Yeah, she won't.
Let's define the terms here so that we can talk about. No, they won't even talk with you because it's like as soon as you bring it down to a rational level of like, hey, let's define these terms so that we can have an actual discussion. No. It's just been fucking radio silence.
But they're the first ones that are going to reach out and say, you're stupid. Right. You're stupid. Well, I can go ahead and can tell you exactly why you're stupid, racist, and you're an unthinking piece of shit.
Yeah.
So enjoy the fucking journey.
She called us racist, which is why I was like, okay, I got to engage this. I'm not going to let this go. And then it was like crickets. Just, nope, we can't talk about this. Okay. You can't throw out terms like racist and then expect me not to answer. Wow. Anyway, there it is.
Yeah. Well, you answered, we answered, and they didn't answer. So that's cool. And that's usually the sign of somebody who doesn't have a leg to stand on. So that's awesome.
Yep.
All right. Fitz, I think we're at the end. You want to get into final thoughts?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Whiskey Hills. Final thoughts.
Fitz, my final thought is stop hating. Stop feeling like you've got, and I know that's odd coming after the commentary that we just had because there was a little bit of vitriol there.
Right.
But it was also necessary though too, because that was something that was shot at us first. Now, everybody wants to get up in arms over people being people, and as long as we're not being assholes to each other and moving forward, and yes, Tabby, not being a fucking victim, you can actually get a lot of progress done. And I hope that we can kind of lean into that a little bit more going forward.
Same. I feel like we've established ourselves as voices that are not only relevant but are being listened to. There's no ego in that statement. It's just, hey, we're saying what we see and people like what we see. And so, look, if we had no listeners, no Patreons, nobody tuned in every week, then you and I would either just do this for ourselves or we would just go away. But the fact is, we have people that tune in every week that like our commentary, that like our camaraderie. Because listen, we're here for each other, but we're also here for all of you, for this community that we've built. You're all just as much a part of the show as McShane, Hefe, and myself. None of us is any more important than any of you. You're all part of this. If you all went away, the show would just be nothing. And so we're here for the community, and we have a voice, and we take that responsibly. Like that's a big deal. So we're gonna keep talking until you tell us to shut the fuck up. And I'm not talking about the people who are irrational. I'm talking about those of you who, do tune in every week. And if we're off base, you're gonna let us know. And that's why what we say is important, and we're gonna keep doing the show because, damn it, there's not enough voices. I guess there's too many voices out there on one hand, but on the other hand, there's not enough voices out there speaking like just, logically, rationally, to the point. Let's figure out let's get to the bottom of this. We need more of this.
Agreed. All right, Fitz, what beer are you taking to bed?
Oh God. For sure the liquid apple pie in my mouth. Not that there was anything wrong with the first s'mores stout. Good beer, really good beer. Great way to start the night. But this front porch apple crumb deliciousness. Holy shit. This is one of those beers that's kind of dangerous. Yeah, okay, 10%. I can handle 10%. Well, then you want to just like shotgun the whole thing because it's so good. And then you're really feeling it. So a beer not to be taken lightly. But wow, such a good beer. Like I said earlier, definitely reminds me of that scene in Apple Pie. You want to have a quiet night alone with this beer in bed.
Nice.
Just the three of you. The beer, the bed, and you.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, in fact, I may have to go get another one of these and just, lock the door and have a quiet night. How about you? Which one are you taking to bed?
Oh, this is a tough one. The Double is foreplay.
Okay.
And the Razzle Dazzle is the Full Monty. So I'm taking them both.
Oh, yes. A threesome for McShane. This might be a first.
I think it might be.
Wow.
I think
good for you.
Yep, absolutely. Just and honestly, it was the balance of the two. The Double was a great entry beer, right? It started off the show just a great drink to complement whatever everything we were talking about. But when it got to the Prairie, it was just like, that's dessert. That's just like, wow, finish me off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very happy with both of them. Very happy.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
All right, that's going to wrap things up. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for keeping an open mind and thinking through what's going on and not jumping to conclusions and not just fucking taking what's in front of you as verbatim. There's too much of that, and I'm glad, so glad that we have a great listener base that, well, you guys think critically and you act accordingly. Right, Fitz? I mean, that's what we're going for.
Oh, they're the best. You guys are the best, truly. And I'm not that's not lip service.
No.
Just the commentary, the ongoing conversation all week, and particularly the chat during the show is just, I don't know, it's pretty unique. I don't see a lot of other people having that part of their show, and it's only, as we've said, it's only made us better and more dynamic. So, and a quick shout out to the original Fitz, my grandfather, His favorite day of the year, every year,
Oh,
was
cheers.
St. Patty's Day. And so, cheers to my grandfather, the original Fitz. Rest in peace, Grandpa. And God, every year I think about you. So this show is for you and for all of our listeners, all of our Patreons, all of our friends, all of our family. We love all of you. Try and enjoy the week, and we will see you next week.
I will drink to that.
Mm.
I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.
We'll talk to you soon.